Five, four, three. Hi, everybody. Dugroz here with Dugroz Reports, reporting live from my house. Today is Saturday, January 20th, 2024. Welcome to the live stream for today. If you were watching 3 or 4 minutes ago, I sincerely apologize. When I launch the live stream, normally it defaults to the webcam on my monitor. Unfortunately, for some reason, it defaulted to the webcam that's built into my computer, and that particular webcam, the computer's closed, so it doesn't show anything. Off to a rip-roaring start here. Sorry, folks. Good morning, Brian Clark. So I had Sam, my friend from the United Kingdom, on board with the original live stream, and I said I had to cancel and hop back in. So hopefully he finds his way in here. Good morning, Jose. And TH says loud and clear. Thank you for that. And sorry that I had to bail and restart. So the theme of today's live stream is Wells Fargo and the Wells Fargo credit cards, the Wells Fargo ecosystem. So I'll spend a fair amount of time talking about that. However, you can feel free to ask me anything. It doesn't have to be about Wells Fargo cards. So anything on topic, points, miles, travel, cash back, the world of points and miles, those kinds of things. We won't be talking about baseball or those kind of things unless it relates directly to points and miles. Hey, Sam, you're back. You made it all the way. Sorry about the technical difficulties with my first launch attempt. I sincerely apologize. The only way to fix it was to cancel it and start over. Keith says he didn't realize he wasn't subscribed to my channel and got a subscriber out of it. Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you are not a subscriber and you've wandered in, if you would take the time to subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. And click the thumbs up button. Matt Clausen is on board. Sam and Matt are both diehards, and I appreciate them quite a lot. All right, so while I am thinking of it, I do have a membership level called Dugroz Diehards. There's about 15 of us so far, and I really appreciate you. They have access to about 15 to 20 videos that not everyone else has access to. Videos that are usually too nerdy or too awkward for the general public. They go behind that membership wall, and then also get early access to videos. If you are a Dugroz diehard, you've already had a chance to see my video about using Wyndham points to book a casa, a cabin in Wisconsin, a trip I took in October. Those of you who aren't members, you can wait till first part of next week, and I'll be releasing that. Since I have memberships, I also have super chats enabled. So if you want to drop me $2 or $3, you can feel free to. I would appreciate it. I've thought about doing like Patreon, but I'm like, the super chats and super thanks are good enough. John McKinstry is a channel member. Thank you. And is on board this morning. Glad to see you here. All right. So before I dive into the content that is related to Wells Fargo, let's start with some Dugroz data points. So I have mentioned in a recent video and in last week's live stream, had some problems with my US Bank Altitude Reserve. Since January 1st, any purchases that have posted to my account using my Apple Pay mobile wallet, I've only been getting 1 point per dollar when I'm supposed to get 3 points per dollar. I called US Bank and asked them about it, and they told me it was a known issue that affects everyone. Well, based on data points shared on that video, it's not everyone, but it is probably 40 to 50% of users. What's weird is another one of my followers, AP, sent me a message on Discord saying he has used both Samsung and Apple Pay, and on Samsung, it worked incorrectly. On an Apple Pay, it worked correctly. Well, I only use Apple Pay, and it's working incorrectly. I had a statement that posted somewhere around the 9th or 10th, and I saw it for the first time on like the 13th or 14th. even the point totals on the statement were wrong. I was hoping it was just a display issue. It's not just a display issue. They're actually giving me the wrong points. I went in and did the math, and basically on the statement, every transaction for December and prior, they were giving me 3. For January 1st and beyond, they've only been giving me 1. So I haven't seen any resolution yet. Strangely enough, I haven't seen any of the major blogs like Frequent Miler or Doctor of Credit pick up on this yet. I guess I'm the only one that's publicly complaining. So hopefully that'll get better in the near future. I said that AP had sent me some data points. Clairvoyant is here, has also sent me some data points, which I really appreciate on that U.S. Bank altitude reserve. And I agree, Matt. No, it's not a good look for U.S. Bank at all. I mean, they're a relational bank. Up until maybe a year ago, you had to have an existing account to get the altitude reserve because they're relational based. They took away that requirement. But if you're going to say we're relationship based, we have good customer service, ideally you wouldn't even have the problem to begin with. And secondly, if you do have a tech problem, it shouldn't take 20 days to get it resolved. Let's see. I'm just reading the comments here. Liam says no soccer today, so I get to watch. Looks like Sam is mildly offended that it was called soccer instead of football. I get that. Let's see. Yeah, I'll just move on here with more of my Dugroz data points. So I have been trying to clear out some of the memory on my computer so that when I share the screen, it's not quite so obnoxious. But I'm going to do that now. Thank you for board here. We're up to 18 people so far. So Dugroz data point number 2 is related to Aeroplan. So I got this targeted offer just recently. I can earn 5x points at grocery stores, gas stations, and restaurants. This is temporarily. This is January 15th through March 31st. I had to activate it, which I did. And this is a pretty good offer. So as you probably know, I use my Chase Aeroplan for pay yourself back, and you can pay yourself back on purchases. Sorry, folks, at a rate of 1.25 cents per point. So functionally, that 5 times 1.25 becomes 6.25. So on $1,000 of spend, I guess that'd be $62.50, which really isn't too bad. So I'm actually using this for grocery stores right now between now and when that special offer ends. I don't know if that's available to everyone with the Aeroplan card. If you have data points, put it over here on that one to see if it applies to you. And gas stations and grocery stores both tend to sell gift cards. So if you're unsure of how to use that, you can always buy a gift card and then spend it on whatever it is you want to spend that on. Next data point. Oops, clicked the wrong direction here. I am a little laggy. I apologize. I also got a targeted offer. This was back around the 3rd of the month from Citi. On my Citi Premier card, I can earn 5 points per dollar on eligible purchases, and this runs through the end of the quarter, March 31st. This is on electronic stores, department stores, clothing stores, game stores, hobby, and toy stores. And this would be up to 2,500 points. Now, it's not clear on here entirely if it's 2,500 additional points, so you'd be earning 6 points functionally, or if it's just 5 points. I'm guessing it's just 5 points. If you do the math, 2,500 divided by 5 is $500. So this one's a little less exciting to me. First of all, I'm not buying a lot at electronic stores, department stores, clothing stores, game stores. I don't think Walmart and Target usually code as department stores. They usually code as um, general merchandise or superstores or something like that. So I'm guessing department stores would be like Kohl's or Maurice's, the places the wife likes to shop. But if you're going to be spending money anyway, I guess you might as well earn 5 Citi points. Worst case scenario, you can cash it out for 5 cents. So it's better than a kick in the teeth. 2,500 points is meh. It's okay. Not terrible, not great. Let's see. Clairvoyant said, "Are you asking for your U.S. Bank Altitude Reserve annual fee back since you had a statement close with the incorrect points?" I am. I haven't decided yet. My anniversary date is in February, so it's coming right around the corner. I have always asked for retention offer at the end of year 1, year 2, and year 3. The first year I got 10,000 points. The subsequent 2 years I got 5,000 points. Since those are worth 1.5 each, that's a minimum of $75, which effectively takes the annual fee down to 0. So I will be asking for something. I'm hoping they give me something better than the normal retention offer, and I hope they fix it. If they fix it by the time my annual fee hits, I won't be too upset, assuming they fix it retroactively. Now, if they don't fix it retroactively, then I might be a little more upset. John says, "From what I've heard, it's difficult to get approved for US Bank if you're not already an existing customer of theirs." I've heard that as well. I've been blessed in that I've had a relationship with US Bank in a roundabout way. Basically, my hometown bank was bought out by US Bank when I was in high school. For more than 30 years. Philmo says, "Good morning, Doug and everyone. I got a similar offer on my World of Hyatt card." Okay, well, maybe some of those co-branded cards from Chase are getting that sort of offer. Keith S. asks, "Is there a limit on how much 3x you can get with the Altitude Reserve?" No, there is not. It's unlimited. TH says he got the same offer as Citi Premier. What counts as a department store? Well, I'm not sure 100%, but I do know the US Bank Cash Plus gives you department stores as one of their non-rotating categories that you can select. And I know Kohl's is on the list and Maurice's. Usually it's sort of like the clothing type stores for the most part that count as department stores as far as I'm aware. I suppose like Saks Fifth Avenue is probably a department store, but not a lot of places to buy just general merchandise. If they still had Pomida, maybe that would count. Clairvoyant said, and this relates to the US Bank card, yes, unlimited. This is presumably the 3X mobile wallet. I spent over 500,000 on it in 2022. Whoa, that's a lot of buckage. You must have a small business or something. Sam says, "To the Americans, gas station quick food such as sandwiches are much better quality in the UK." I will tuck that away. Thank you. Stan the Credit Frog has arrived. Welcome, Stan. Good to see you. The Altitude Reserve is the best. Excellent. Okay, so we have gotten through our Dugroz data points unless I happen to think of something else as we go. Frugal Dad Finance is here and says, "Stan the man got me into the Altitude Reserve." Stan had an excellent video on the Altitude Reserve. I would say a couple weeks, but maybe it's more like a couple months ago now that I think about it. Let's dive into today's topic at least a little bit. Wells Fargo is the theme of the day. And the only reason I chose Wells Fargo is because I hadn't gotten to them yet. I've done a theme for each of my live streams, which I started back in October, and I've done a theme for the 4 big transferable currencies, Chase, Amex, Citi, Cap One. Wells Fargo is supposed to have transferable currencies in the near future, and we'll get that sometime in calendar year 2024, allegedly. Obviously, I don't know what they are. I was hoping, that sometime this week I would get some notice on my statement that at least leaked one or two transfer partners. I did not. I have nothing of an insider nature to share. So let's review the cards that exist in terms of what is available with our friends at Wells Fargo. I'll share my screen again, and sorry if it lags a bit. I also sincerely apologize, folks, for my coughing. I thought I had moved past that good yesterday, but maybe talking quite a bit has set me back a bit. So, what credit cards do our friends at the Stagecoach Wells Fargo offer? First up, they offer the Active Cash. This is your basic 2% everywhere card. To get the sign up bonus at present, or at least as of last night, they'll give you $200 for spending $500 over the course of 3 months. I put 20,000 points in parentheses because I have tested this. You can move your cashback rewards with the Active Cash over to the Autograph and functionally turn it into points. Similar to how with the cashback earning cards like Capital One's Quicksilver, Saver One, you can move those over to any of the venture cards if you'd rather have points. And fortunately, you can do it all online. My dad has both the Active Cash and the Autograph, and I've tested it with his account. As far as ongoing earnings, the Active Cash earns 2% back on everything, which, functionally becomes 2x or 2 points per dollar on everything. If you need a balance transfer card, it also offers 0% APR for the first 15 months. So that's the first card they offer. I think this is a very good 2x everywhere card. There's lots of 2% cashback cards. There's not very many that give you points. So this could become a lot more appealing when we know what the transfer partners are. It'll be a direct competitor to the Double Cash that Citi has. It'll be a direct competitor to the American Express Blue Cash Plus on the business side. This has an advantage, though, in that this is not a business card. So if you are unable to get business cards or don't feel comfortable doing that, you can still do it here. Also, it's uncapped and is accepted most everywhere. I'm going to have a cough drop in my mouth. I apologize if that gets distracting. Whoop, wrong direction, Doug. Next up is the Wells Fargo Autograph. Oh, hey, I'll pause for just a moment. Jose Santiago just joined the Dugroz Diehards. I appreciate that, Jose. Thanks for getting on board. Hopefully your $3 is well worth it. Thanks for supporting the channel. The autograph card. This was called the Propel until about 6 months ago or so. Or maybe I should say there was an overlapped offering. So there used to be a card issued by Wells Fargo that used American Express as the transaction network called the Propel. It was literally the exact same card. For a while, they stopped offering the Propel and started offering the Autograph, which was the Visa equivalent. And then about 6 months ago, they forced you to merge into the Autograph if you had the Propel before. The sign-up bonus as of right now is 20,000 points when spending $1,000 in the first 3 months. That was elevated to 30,000 points for a while, somewhere around October, November, but I just checked yesterday. Unfortunately, the elevated offer has expired. It earns 3x on dining, gas, which includes electric vehicles, phones, phone plans, transit, which is like subway, buses, ferries, those kind of things, Amtrak, travel, and streaming services. If you need a balance transfer or a 0%, it does have that for 12 months. There are also no foreign transaction fees. Now, I did double check carefully the, wrong direction again. The 2x Everywhere card, the Active Cash, does not waive the foreign transaction fees. So you're not going to want to use your Active Cash in a foreign country. But the autograph you can feel free to. I would say the autograph is actually a killer card for when you are traveling, US or abroad, because for me at least, probably 75% of my out of pocket expenses when I take a trip is dining, gas, and transit. And that gives you 3x on all of those. Knowing that has a no foreign transaction fee would be really good as well. Um, right now, I'm using my Aeroplan card so I can pay myself back on transit and travel. But that uncapped ability to do so does end the middle of this year. Maybe they'll extend it. I hope they do. But my autograph would be a good fallback plan. I do have both of these cards. I don't want to rub salt in any wounds, but there is also a grandfathered card that is no longer offered to new applicants called the Visa Signature Card. A very uncreative name because it is, in fact, a Visa Signature Card. It's got a picture of like the stagecoach and horses running across the screen. Excuse me, across the card. This card does not have like any actual art on the Wells Fargo website, so I had to get this kind of janky third-party image. Sorry, it doesn't look quite right. It doesn't show the Visa logo, but that's roughly what it looks like. Now, I at first blush, this card looks kind of crappy because maybe if I talk in a quieter voice, I'll be less likely to cough. It only gives 1 point per dollar on everything, which when I first got the card in 2008, I didn't know any better. I actually worked for Wells Fargo very briefly, um, like September of 2008 through March of 2009. So not even a full year and a half. I worked at a bank branch. And during that time, they pitched it to me as the Wells Fargo employee card. It was really the exact same card that everyone gets. The only difference was, as an employee, the APR is guaranteed to never go over 10%. Interestingly, although I don't want to pay 10% interest, even though I haven't worked there since 2009, it still has that benefit for me. The reason I've kept this card, well, partially credit history, but there is a superpower. It gives 1.5 modifier on flights in the travel portal. So it's kind of like the Sapphire Reserve in that sense. So like a flight that costs $100, with no modifier would normally be 10,000 points, but in my case, it would only be 6,667 points. So that's a pretty cool thing. You can book Wells Fargo, Southwest Airlines flights directly in their portal. Most of the time, their portal prices I found are pretty fair. It's time to take a orange pill. These are one of those like cold and cough pills that's supposed to suppress my cough. Hopefully this is enough water. If not, I'll be right back. So sorry, folks. I need like a 10-second break. I literally drank all my water in the first 25 minutes. I'm so sorry. But I have used this before. I haven't used it much recently, but in the past, especially when I first got into points and miles, I realized how powerful that was. And this is also a no annual fee card. So for me, um, that works out really well. I have sort of a trifecta going. Um, I noticed that someone dropped a 5 spot on me. TH says he wants me to buy some Ricola. I will certainly do that. I do have just plain old Hall's cherry cough drops here. Keith is going to contribute to the fund. Stan is contributing to the fund as well. I really appreciate the cough drop fund, guys. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I was honestly doing fine up until the live stream started. Not sure what set me off. Funny that Keith and Stan did the exact same thing at like the exact same time. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you so much. All right, so then we have the autograph journey card, which is a rumored card. The Doctor of Credit article about it looks pretty compelling. It says it's been confirmed, but I guess in my mind, until it appears on the company's website, anything is a rumor. Don't know what it's going to look like, so I just used this sort of generic credit card graphic. But the rumor is that it'll have a 60,000 point sign up bonus on $4,000 of spend. I see Sam's suggestion I should try honey and lemon. I've got this honey and lemon flavored cold and cough multi-symptom stuff that I'll be using in a little while. The autograph journey is supposed to have it said the exact same categories as the autograph: dining, gas, phones, transit, travel. But the Doctor of Credit article also listed entertainment, which is not one of the categories on my autograph. So I'm not sure if that's additional or if the regular autograph will be gaining entertainment. And it has a $95 annual fee. Now, considering that the annual fee is $95 and for the most part the categories are exactly the same as the autograph, which is no annual fee, there's got to be more coming, right? It can't just be uh with a $95 annual fee. So I'm guessing there'll be some sort of travel insurance or probably your standard TSA pre-check or global entry. It would be really cool if they had like a portal credit of some kind. Maybe they want to compete with the Sapphire Preferred and will give you, say, $50 a year to use in their portal, plus at least a few basic protections or something like that. Maybe some sort of cell phone insurance that's even better than the cell phone insurance on the autograph. We'll just have to wait and see what the autograph journey ends up being, because right now we just don't know. Some thoughts I have on Wells Fargo in general. First of all, as of right now, not counting the rumored card, all of their offerings uh, um, are no annual fee. So I think for a no annual fee setup, it's pretty top notch. Jose says the journey may grant the ability to transfer partners for $95. Again, these are just rumors, unconfirmed, but supposedly the autograph will grant the ability to go to transfer partners. And I think that's pretty supported for two reasons. One is both the grandfathered Visa signature as well as the autograph display their rewards as points. And it would be kind of silly to display your rewards as points and then you can't move those points to transfer partners. On both my autograph and my Visa signature, I've had statements that have said, well, first it said, we will offer transfer partners starting in November. And then it said, we'll offer transfer partners starting in December. And then it just took that away altogether. So if the statement has a disclosure about adding transfer partners, I'm guessing all of them other than the active cash will offer transfer partners. We have our first advertisement coming up in 5 seconds, so we'll take a 1-minute intermission. Thanks, everyone. All right, welcome back, everybody. So I got my multi-symptom cold and cough relief poured into my mug here, and yes, Sam, it is honey flavored tea. Frankly, it's pretty disgusting. Thank you.
Is Ariana break?
No, I'm live streaming right now, but thanks. I had my son bring me a glass of water to go with my tea. Let's talk about the Wells Fargo transfer partners, and this is just abject speculation. We don't know. There have been people who have said things like, well, Wells Fargo issues the Bilt MasterCard, so I'm guessing Bilt and Wells Fargo will have the exact same transfer partners. I'm guessing that's probably not the case, and I could be wrong. In fact, I hope I'm wrong. That'd be awesome if they had the exact same transfer partners. That would be like dropping an atom bomb on the world of points and miles just with American and Hyatt alone. It would completely tank Citi if that happened. Bilt made agreements with these companies because they're built, not because they're issued by Wells Fargo. And a lot of people have said Hyatt and American Airlines have exclusive agreements with Chase and Citi, respectively. That's probably the case, although I don't have any data to back that up. Regardless, let's just say Wells Fargo only gets the kind of generic transfer partners, the places that are happy to partner with just about anyone. I'm thinking of JetBlue. JetBlue, Virgin Atlantic, Flying Blue, KLM, and Air France. Maybe Wyndham. Some of those kind of real basic ones. Even if it's just that, I still think they're going to make a big splash. Almost to the point where I'm thinking the Citi Premier card is going to become halfway obsolete. Yes, I know they transfer 1 to 2 to Choice Hotels, but with no travel protections, I feel like Citi just has less and less to offer. So that's kind of my thoughts on Wells Fargo in general. I'll try to catch up with some of the questions that I missed while I was having my coughing fit and or going over the theme of the day. All right. Sam says Walmart in the United Kingdom is called Asda or Asada. A lot of people telling me I need to get some Ricola cough drops. Sam points out that the credit card uses the generic name of Henry Wells. That was one of the founders of Wells Fargo, hence the name. And then Matt Clausen says co-founded American Express. Are you saying Henry Wells co-founded American Express? I guess that would make sense. Wells Fargo and American Express were both stagecoach type companies originally. Prince Win said the active cash is also Visa, which is great if anyone shops at Costco. Benefits over the double cash, which is a MasterCard, and the Blue Business Plus. TH says, loves the autograph. Wish they would publish the transfer partners. I agree. Sam says, how much of a difference in fees would it cost to use in another country, for instance? Good question. So when I say foreign transaction fees, most credit cards that are issued by American banks will charge a fee to make a purchase in a foreign currency. And that's usually somewhere between 2 and 3%. So if you're having to pay 2% fee and you're getting a 2% award, functionally those cancel out and you're not getting any award whatsoever if they charge a foreign transaction fee. That's why a card like the autograph that waives the foreign transaction fee is kind of a big deal. Matt says, if the transfer partners are even mediocre, the active cash plus autograph makes for a great no-frills travel setup. I agree, because unlike American Express, you can cash those out without jumping through hoops as a fallback plan. I think it's silly, that with American Express and somewhat Capital One, you can't cash out your points for 1 cent per point without jumping through a bunch of hoops. That should always be a fallback plan. That's when people offered to buy me Ricolas. Thanks, everyone. Matt says, more lemon. So Jose Santiago had said the journey may grant the ability to transfer partners for $95. Matt Clausen replied, the autograph is getting them for $0. Filmo says his 524 gardening ends in March. Oh, what you planning on getting? Must resist Wells. Keith says I started him coughing. Let's see. Jose says, so we expect Wells Fargo to be more like Amex, where no annual fee cards can transfer to partners, not like all the other ecosystems where the annual fee card is required to transfer. Kind of yes, kind of no. Again, I think the active cash will not be able to transfer, but the autograph and the autograph journey, as well as the grandfathered Visa signature card, will be able to. Think of it in a way kind of like Chase. So with Chase, the cards that advertise their sign-up bonuses as a cash back award are not able to transfer. But if they advertise their sign-up bonuses points, they are able to transfer. Multiple people stating that Chase 524 is evil. Hey, don't let it dominate you guys. Get what you need to get and then move on. Matt says Wells Fargo issues the Choice credit card. Could be another 1 to 2 to Choice. That would be awesome. So I know that the theme is Wells Fargo, and they also issue the Choice cards. I was thinking just of the Wells Fargo rewards. They used to call it Go Far rewards. Sort of they're transferable, in theory, asterisk, currency. I wasn't getting into their co-branded cards, but if you guys want to talk about it or ask about it, we sure can. They also have a card called the Reflect card, which is a no annual fee balance transfer card only. It doesn't actually have any points, so I didn't go into that one. Clairvoyant asks if any of the Wells Fargo cards have purchase protection, and Matt Clausen says he believes the autograph has purchase protection, but a maximum of around 10,000, he thinks. I actually didn't look into that, Clairvoyant. I apologize. That's a good question. If anybody else wants to look up the terms and conditions, just feel free to drop them over there. All right, let's move on to the community tab questions. So I'll share my screen here and we can see what was on the community tab this week. I'll make sure it works before elves. There it is. Looks like so. This was the location of the week that you were trying to guess the location, and I'll save that for last, and I'll dive into the questions here as well. So in reverse order, someone with this user, wow, and I've had people soliciting me to buy like web search services from them with that exact username, so that's spam. Looks like we only got 2 questions. Zar will go first. Cesar asks me my favorite U.S. state that I visited and why. Thank you for the question, Cesar Joel. Cesar is one of my biggest and longest fans. So I have on my mind right now Um, Michigan, and specifically the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So my family went there in 2022. It was like, oh, the last few days of, um, excuse me, sorry, I had another frog in my throat there. The last few days of May, and it overlapped into the first few days of um, June. And I'll show you some pictures of our time there. Very serene, and that time of year up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, you've got a lot of green, a lot of clear skies, a lot of skies, a lot of water and clouds and pretty things like that. Waterfalls. So there's a picture of a river that flows out into Lake Superior. This was like a chairlift that you could go up to an old ski jump and look out over the countryside. It's not giant mountains, but it's little mountains, and the clouds were super fluffy. It was very beautiful. This is the cabin that we rented there. This is not the same one in the video that I'll be putting out next week. This was a different Vacasa from over a year ago. And this is a small lake called Lake of the Clouds. It's sort of trapped between, it's like you have Lake Superior and then a bunch of rocky mountains and then this lake. It's a very calm lake. Another waterfall, I think that one's called Foster Falls. This is also at Foster Falls, kind of the lake or big pond that it flows into before it goes out this stream down here at the top. Yes, this is the UP of Michigan. This would be, it's more specifically at the western part of the UP, close to the Wisconsin border. Sunsets were pretty killer, that's for sure. That's Lake Superior, I think. Towards the end of our trip, we went over to Ashland, Wisconsin, which is the part of Wisconsin that touches Lake Superior. And when the Capital One Venture X first came out, it had a vacation rental credit for $200, which I used on an Airbnb, not this. And then on its regular $300 portal credit, I used it to book this. This was bookable through Capital One. I would highly recommend it. It's a boutique hotel. It's only got 5 or 6 rooms. Every single room is on the top floor. Every single room faces Lake Superior. Kind of looks like Noah's Ark in my mind, especially from the end. Here's another view of Lake Superior from that same trip. This is from the Blue Wave Inn. Again, the sunsets were hard to beat. This is a different waterfall. I think it's called the Black River that runs south to north. There's like 12 different waterfalls in that river, and I don't remember. I think this one's called Sandstone. Some other random river. This might be the Montreal River. They called this a waterfall. It's more like rapids. Same river. Might be the Potato River. I don't remember. There's my wife looking out at Lake Superior, just very calm. These rocks down here on the bottom were super smooth because they've been eroded by the water. And we're back to the beginning. So, U.S. state as of right now, Cesar. Thank you very much for asking. Matt says he's about to book travel to Michigan to get some welcome offer taken care of, and says, sadly missing the UP. I'll be in the Detroit area. Matt, were you originally from the UP or somewhere not too far from there? I thought you were, my understanding. Also in the community tab, TH, who either is on board or at least was on board, asks this question. What do you think about the new Hyatt credit card sign-up bonuses, both personal and business? Will that sway you away if you didn't consider it in the past? Um, so I did have to take a quick look because until TH asked that question, I wasn't even sure what the current offering was from Hyatt. So let me pull that up here. I've got a screenshot and I'll refresh my own memory. I'll be using some of the super chats you guys have given me once I get my cough drops. Put the rest towards saving up for a better computer someday that has more freed up memory so I can stream more easily. Sam asks, is this stream streaming? I get it. Yes, I showed a lot of streams and rivers. That's a good one. I approve of that dad joke. So on the personal side, the sign up bonus on the Hyatt card issued by Chase right now is up to 65,000 points, and it's broken down into two tranches or portions. 35,000 bonus points after you spend $3,000 in 3 months, plus up to 30,000 more bonus points by earning 2 points per dollar in the first 6 months, up to $15,000. That's not enough to sway me because I don't consider spending 15,000 to get 30,000 Hyatt points to be that great of an offer. Since, I can get 5 points per dollar on my Inc. Business Cash Card. I've got one. The wife has one. Right now, Chase Freedom and Freedom Flex is offering 5x on groceries. So if I want to spend my way to Hyatt points, I'm going to spend them on those and then just transfer it over 1-to-1. Plus, I'm over 524, so they won't let me right now anyway. But even if I wasn't, that's still not enough to sway me. I'm not opposed to Hyatt. I've used Hyatts in the past. When I go to the creator meetup in New Orleans, I very well might be staying in a Hyatt down there on Labor Day. I'm perfectly fine using Hyatts without any Hyatt status. Now, the card does give you a free night certificate on the personal side, which might be worth it all by itself. But I don't know. Hyatts aren't everywhere that I want to be, for one thing. I do like Hyatts when they're available. I just don't think it offers a broad enough use case for me personally to really invest into Hyatts. On the business card, there's a 75,000 point welcome offer out. It comes with a significant amount of spend, though. 5,000 in spend for the first 60,000 points and an additional 7,000 to lock the additional 15,000. So basically, if you spend a total of 12,000, you would get the 75,000 points. Again, on that one, as a sign-up bonus, if I want 75,000 Hyatt points, I'll get another Chase Inc. card that's no annual fee instead of paying for the annual fee on this one. So if you're chasing status, I don't know all the details, but I know it gives you something towards your status. So for that person, it might be good. But to answer your question, TH, no, it's not enough of a draw to change my plans as it relates to Hyatt. I'll keep Hyatt in my back pocket as kind of a secondary or tertiary program, but it's not going to be the main thrust of what I do. Hyatts are great for you just need to stop somewhere and there's a Hyatt place. By all means, category 1, 5,000 points transferred over from Chase. Good stuff. So I'm not putting down Hyatt, just unless you're traveling a ton and staying at a ton of Hyatts, I don't think it's worth pursuing aggressively. Just use your Chase points, and if you need to stay there here and there, so be it. So back to sharing my screen so we can wrap up the part about guessing the location of that photo. Sorry about making a noise. I think I've mentioned in the past that my son has type 1 juvenile diabetes, and there's a device called a Dexcom that hooks up to his arm, and it sends us a signal if he has high blood sugar, low blood sugar. So that's the noise that you may have just heard, the beeping sound. So here's the screen I'm sharing. A couple people mentioned of where that was. The correct guess was by TH, and I gave him a little bit of the hint. I said to look at the side of the mailbox itself. There's a clue on there. There's a picture of William Shakespeare right there. So this was in Stratford upon Avon in the United Kingdom from when we went there last July, if you're wondering. Back to the comments, it says that Sam is wondering, anyone requiring additional toilet paper rolls, just get a wad of Russian rubles. They're not worth much at the moment. That's true. Their economy is tanking. Matt Clausen mentions that the Wells Fargo Reflect has a 20-month balance transfer offer, one of the longest. Let's see. Jose Santiago says, I hate those 2 tranche offers. The second tranche is never worth the spend. Yeah, I hear you there. By the way, I've thought about in the past doing a video of like the glossary of weird terms in points and miles. Have any of you ever heard the word tranche used in regular life? I think it's a military term other than in points and miles. And honestly, the only person I've ever heard use it regularly is Sebi from Ask Sebi, but I just used it myself. TH says, thanks for answering my question. Spending $15,000 to get additional points makes no sense and loves the ink cash. We're on the same page, TH. Awesome. John McKinstry says, I think it's better to transfer Chase points or Bilt points to Hyatt if the status isn't important. That's exactly what I'm saying. So we're on the same page also, John. If I was a businessman who traveled for work a lot or self-employed and I had to travel a lot, and let's say I naturally stayed in 30 to 40 Hyatts a year, then I would totally pursue globalist, but I'm not. Matt Clausen clarifies that tranche is a financial term. It's from the movie Big Short. Thank you for clarifying. Cesar Joel has arrived. Sorry I'm late. Happy to see you live, Doug. Hey, I answered your question, Cesar, about the favorite state. The answer was Michigan, specifically the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. I actually went there for my honeymoon 20 years ago, and then we went back in 22. So if you want to rewatch, go back about 7 to 10 minutes. You'll find that part. All right, so I've gone through all of the community tab questions. I've gone through my data points. I've got a few just couple random things that have popped into my mind recently. Thank you for the 26 people on board. Smash the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Click that like button. So I have the Business Platinum card issued by American Express, and I'm going to be canceling it soon. I think the annual fee comes due in February. I have a lot of cards where the annual fee comes due in like late January, February, or the first part of March. For some reason, that's sort of my annual fee season of evaluation. My Altitude Reserve, my Citi Premier, my Business Platinum, my wife's Gold card. We're going to be definitely canceling my wife's Gold card, and I can go over more details on that if you want me to. But anyway, Business Platinum. Before I cancel it, I need to use up as many credits as I can. Obviously, I know how to get the wireless credit. I know how to get the airline incidental credit. What about the Dell credit? What do you guys use your Dell credits for? How do you make up your $200? I know some people in the past have used it to buy Xbox gift cards, which can be used at Microsoft. For whatever reason, anytime I go on there, they're not being offered. And I've heard people, it's like hit and miss whether they're offered. It's hit and miss whether they'll actually let you buy them. What do you get on Dell.com? Say you have $200, you're going to use it or lose it. I bought myself a Christmas present last year. And by last year, I mean last month. It was a Bose waterproof Bluetooth speaker, so I can listen to podcasts and YouTube videos in the shower. Do you guys have YouTube videos that you only listen to, you don't so much watch? If you listen to mine, I'm not offended. I know us credit card YouTubers. Um, if you're really into the game, you're probably there for the content, not so much the graphics. So, any suggestions on Dell.com, what to get for $200 that I can either resell or actually use? Their laptops, none of them quite fit in my price range. Um, let's see. Next up, I'm going to talk about an American Airlines flight headache. So, I'm flying to Charlottesville, Virginia in April. On Monday, April 15th, I'm planning to tour Monticello, which is the home of Thomas Jefferson. And I've mentioned that if I happen to get 3 people to join me, subscribers, people who follow my channel, members, whatever, and you wanted to, we can do a private 3-hour tour for $800. So that would be $200 per person. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to me and let me know. Unfortunately, that one day, Monday the 15th, is the only date that I'm available. But for my flights there, I'm flying American Airlines from Des Moines, Iowa to Charlotte, North Carolina, not to be confused with Charlottesville. And then I will have a layover there and fly on to Charlottesville. Originally, my original flight to get there departed Des Moines at 4:20 p.m., arrived at Charlottesville, Virginia at 11:50 p.m. with a 2.5-hour layover at Charlotte Douglas Airport. There is a Priority Pass lounge there, so I'll check it out. At least that. It'd be nice if there was a Capital One lounge, but there's not. American Airlines changed my flight without asking me, and what they changed it to was departing Des Moines, Iowa at 12:54 p.m. So I leave about 3.5 hours earlier, and then arriving at 12:07 a.m. the following day. So I'm arriving 17 minutes later. That gives me a 6.5-hour layover at the Charlotte Douglas Airport. So I'm a little miffed about that they moved up my departing flight and moved back my arriving flight. So I have to spend 6.5 hours on a layover. What miffs me, and this isn't business, this is just plain old main cabin. What miffs me even more about that is if you go to their website, they're still selling tickets for my original itinerary. So I'm not sure what the reasoning was. I'm sure it was all algorithm based. There's not an actual human sitting there pushing buttons saying, let's change Mr. Rose. But it's almost like the algorithm just decided, hey, we're having a hard time selling these flights. So let's move this loser who used points and doesn't have any particular status other than just the bottom level, what everybody gets status, to these crappy flights. Hopefully, then we can sell the more desirable flights for a higher price later on. So, do any of you have experience with like calling American Airlines or some of those old mainline airlines and just asking like, "Hey, I see you moved me to different flights, but according to your website, you're still selling tickets for the original flight. Can you please put me back where I was instead of moving me?" How would that go? I'm just wondering. And then lastly, I'll just mention, you may notice that the background of this video is a little different than what I've had in the past. So the room that I record my videos in has 3 purposes. It's my YouTube room, it's my home office because I work from home 3 or 4 days a week, and it's a guest bedroom. So normally it's tilted this way, and there's a bed you can maybe just barely see in the background and a nightstand over here. I rotated it 90 degrees, so now it's facing the wall. And I put these old record album covers on the wall using sticky tack, just so that it's not a plain white wall. That's intended to be a temporary solution. Right now, because it's 10:30 in the morning, we've got natural light coming in the windows, which I'm facing, which actually works pretty well. But I don't like the fact the wall's like right behind me. I mean, it's this close, I can reach out and touch it. So what I'm considering doing is pushing the desk forward. There's an obnoxious closet door over here, so that there's more depth. Most of the big time YouTubers like Stan the Credit Frog and Uncle Luke, and others that I've seen, they have some depth to their room, and then they'll use backlighting and have a shelf with some interesting stuff. I'm thinking about doing that. And I realize probably a lot of you would say I don't really care. One of my diehards gave me the advice. It was something like this. Just to be candid, Doug, um, I could care less what your background looks like. I could care less, that you blow your nose and cough. But um, the people who are not very invested do care about those things. So, the 20 to 30-year-olds who are just skimming and will only give you 30 seconds. If you don't have a nice looking background and camera, you might lose some of those people. And maybe that's why your channel is not growing as fast as some of your competitors. I agree with that. I think that's valid advice. So I'm trying to take a few steps into the 21st century and have a nicer background and a nicer camera and those kind of things. I got my official YouTuber microphone from Dell, so at least that's one way I was able to use my credit. I could get a boom arm and put it on there. I don't know if that looks any better. It wouldn't do a bloody thing for the actual quality of the audio, but it would at least make me look cooler. So if you have any input on the background, feel free to let me know. All right, let's go back over here to the comments and catch up on the advice that y'all are giving me. Cesar says, I would use the Dell credit for channel stuff, like microphones, cameras, that kind of stuff. Yeah, the problem is I wish you could just like bank the credit and use it later because none of it's enough. But that's a good idea. I'll see if I can, see what I can find. Maybe there'll be background decorations on Dell. Sledge is here. Salute. Welcome aboard, Sledge. Good to see you. Filmo says, I may upgrade to a business gold. Excuse me. I may upgrade from a business gold to a business platinum. I'm not sure if there's much value in that card for me. But a 120,000 point upgrade offer makes it too difficult to turn down. Shoot, yeah. If you get a 120,000 point upgrade offer, I would do that. Jose says, I used the Dell credit for 3 Microsoft Office licenses and a laptop for my girlfriend. That's a good thought. What do Microsoft Office licenses get you? Just like is that what you use to get Microsoft Word and Office and that kind of stuff? Jose says, that reminds me, I'm canceling the Business Platinum later this year. Got to cash out some MRs before I lose that ability. Oh, hey, thank you for reminding me of that, Jose. I have one more data point. So last year, I signed up for the Business Platinum Bundle, which was a special offer if you got the business checking account and the Business Platinum card and met all their requirements at the same time. You got 200,000 MR points, which I met, which was awesome. Anytime you get 200,000 Amex points, that can't be beat. That combo, if you have both the Business Platinum and the business checking account, you can do a feature called deposit with points at a 1-to-1 ratio. Normally, if you apply your Amex points towards cash, it's only 0.65 or something like that. So I needed to cash out a few Amex points to cover the annual fee on my business gold card. And I can come back around to that logic if you want me to. Wanted to cash out $300 worth, which would be 30,000 Amex points, and the option online had disappeared. So I called Amex, and first I got a regular personal, not banker, but like customer service person, and they told me, "Oh, I'm sorry, sir, you don't have that option. You have the option to pay with points." Apply them to purchases. Would you like to do that? I'm like, no, that's only like 0.6 or 0.65 cents per point. I don't want to do that. That's a ripoff. I didn't say it. I just politely declined. And I said, so this is a feature of the business checking account. Do you handle that? And he's like, oh, no, sorry. Hold on. And they transferred me to someone who transferred me to the wrong person, who then transferred me to the right person. So Amex is pretty good at customer service. They dropped the ball slightly on that one. But once I got to the business banker, he said he can do it. And he did it over the phone, and it's already posted and everything's fine. But 2 thoughts. Thought number 1 is I asked him, why did that disappear online? And he said, oh, we're just doing some temporary maintenance. It'll come back. So Jose or anyone, if you do go to cash out points by applying them as the not pay with deposit with points feature, you might have to call in to do that. My second data point is Luke from Luke's Points and Miles has said he used to have a business platinum. He canceled it. He still has the business checking account. and he still has the ability to deposit with points. So he says he doesn't know if that's a mistake or if it's just a feature of the business checking account, but they only advertise it with the bundle with the platinum card. So I hope that my ability to, I'm going to keep my business checking account open. There's no fee for having it. You can keep it there with $1. I'm hoping that my ability to cash out indirectly or deposit with points by moving it to my Amex business checking account, and from there you can, move it to any bank account you want, remains. So let me know if you have any experiences with that. Sam K says banks and women have something in common. They both have very high interest levels. I'm not touching that comment, Sam. I'll just read it. Matt Clausen says, may as well rent a car with that long of a layover. Yeah, no kidding, because the layover is longer than the drive time. YouTube Experiment has arrived. Says, I would call and politely complain. I will. Matt says, Charlotte to Greensboro is an hour and a half. Greensboro to Roanoke's like 2 hours. Roanoke's Charlottesville's like what, 2 and change? I bet it's less than that. I'm guessing Roanoke to Charlottesville is probably about an hour and a half. Cesar Joel says, I used to record in my kitchen wall for 7 months of the 9 months I've been on YouTube, but I agree, improving the background can help new viewers stay. Matt says, it's less. It's under 4.5 hours. Yeah, we'll see. Doesn't it annoy you when, and I know why, but it still annoys me. Say you have a flight from Des Moines to Houston, layover in Houston, on to Jacksonville, Florida, and that costs maybe $250. But if you just want to fly the exact same airline, exact same flight from Des Moines to Houston, then get off, it's $400. I bet that kind of thing would apply. I have heard people say, and I guess anecdotally I would say this is kind of true, American Airlines is a good airline for flying from small airport to small airport. So if you're flying from like Des Moines to Dallas to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that's a good one because they have a lot of those types of deals where the combined flight is actually cheaper than the individual legs. Jose Santiago clarifies that Microsoft Office gets you Word, Excel, PowerPoint, etc. Jose also says, I was not talking about 1 cent per point with the Business Platinum. I was talking 1.538 cents per point. You'll have to share your secret with all of us, Jose, because I'm not 100% sure what you're referencing. How do you cash out Amex points, whether or not you jump through hoops, for 1.538? Because I need that information. Allie says, hi, nice to be here. I enjoy the information you share. Thank you, Allie. I appreciate it. I always look at my YouTube analytics, and it says 100% of my viewers are male. So it's nice to have a little variety now and then. Keith says to skip lag it. If I paid with cash, I might. Skip lagging saves money, but airlines will lifetime ban you for it. I've never personally experimented with it, so I can't really say for sure, but I'm definitely familiar with the concept. My kind of philosophy with points and miles is I very, very rarely pay cash for travel. I almost always use points when possible. I did a video, one of my philosophy videos a few months ago that was called something like limited schedule, unlimited points. Because I don't travel for work, because I'm not self-employed, I work a regular 9-to-5 job, I can only travel maybe 3 to 6 times a year. So my rate of earning points outweighs my point usage. So unless it's less than a penny a point or whatever the buy-in equivalent is, like less than half a cent each with Hilton, I'm probably going to use points every time just because I have them. And if I don't use them, they don't earn interest. Might as well use them. I'd do it if they changed my flight and it was drivable. Yeah, I don't want to pay for an extra day of a rental car, so we'll see. Plus, I like flying more than driving in these kind of situations because while I'm flying, I can read a book, I can get out my computer and edit something. I can't do that while driving. I can listen to like an audiobook or podcast, but I can't be quite as productive. If I want to sleep, I can sleep maybe, or at least get rest. Driving, I've decided that driving about more than 4 hours just wears me out. I don't want to do it anymore. Sam K says in Scotland, there is one of the shortest flights in the world, lasting around 2 minutes for the flight. I am familiar with that. It's from one of the Orkney Islands to another one, I believe, or maybe it's one of the Hebrides. But yeah, I've watched videos of people taking that commercial flight, and it's like, boo. All right, we're done. Jose says, book a speculative flight on your chosen airline. Wait for 35% rebate. Change your mind and cancel the flight through the airline. Hadn't thought of that. That's a good idea. Now, if I do that, let's just say with Southwest, in the exact same manner that I would do that with my airline incidental credit, I know Southwest will let you hold the flight credit indefinitely, but that's not cash. That's credit with the airline. I would think if you're getting refundable flights, if you do it occasionally, they'd be okay with it. I have a feeling if you did it a lot, Amex would get kind of upset with that behavior. That's through the Amex travel portal. Clairvoyant says built points earn interest. How much do they earn? I didn't. Maybe I did know that. Jose did it with United. Can't speak to Southwest. Does United let you keep your flight credits forever, or did you get a refundable flight and have the money credited back to your credit card? Food for thought. Not sure I'd feel comfortable doing it, but definitely worth thinking about. All right. Well, I have reached the end of my content. If you have not yet done so, please click the like button. I would really appreciate it. If you wanted to drop a super chat for $1 or $2 down below, that would be appreciated so I can buy more cough drops, I can buy more cold medicine, and I can get a better computer so that the lagging action doesn't happen. Jose did, in fact, get a credit back to his credit card, cash baby. If you are willing to consider becoming a Dugroz diehard, that's a channel member. It's my only membership level. It's only $3 a month. You can cancel anytime. If you were a channel member, you would already see my latest video. If not, you have to wait till Monday or Tuesday. I appreciate each one of you so much. Thanks for being on board. And as always, may your spending be frugal and may your points be plenteous. Thanks for watching today.